Hello friends, welcome to our Strength for the Journey, where we tap into the most abundant resource in the universe, God's love. Let's talk about the older son in the parable of the prodigal son. I know this character causes a lot of angst for a lot of people. So many people say that they identify with him, that they understand him, and that they cannot see any way in which he is in the wrong in this parable. Remember, Jesus is speaking in front of the Pharisees in response to their criticisms of him of having meals with sinners and tax collectors. So I think the eldest son in this parable is really at the heart of the parable. See, the younger son had gone off and wasted all that his father had given him. And he got into such a bad condition that he realized that he needed to be with his father. He humbly came back to his father, expecting nothing in return, knowing what he had done wrong, knowing where he had made his errors. And when he returned, he was welcomed with open arms. The father came out to him and welcomed him back home. So when the celebrations happened, the elder son refused to go in and partake. Just like he did with the younger son, the father came out and invited him in, told him he wanted to come in. But the older son was indignant. He was angry. He was jealous. See, what he didn't realize was that the party that they were having, the celebration they were having, was not a reward for the younger son. There is only one reward, and that is to be in the presence and to be in relationship with God, to be with the Father. And that was something that the older son had the whole time. The father had been providing for the older son all along. He never wanted for anything. He never worried where a meal would come from. When he says, "You never made a fatted calf for me," the father says, "Well, everything that's mine is yours. It's your fatted calf. You could have made one for yourself." See, the older son had fallen out of relationship with his father. It had become transactional. He felt that he had earned more than his younger brother through his actions. And what we know is God's love is never earned. There is nothing that we can do to earn more of God's love than another person's. No, God's love is freely given. And we accept that with gratitude. We rejoice in it. And when we see that we are loved, when we can be in God's presence and be in relationship with God in gratitude, then we celebrate the blessings of others. The older son had let his anger and his jealousy get the better of him. He had it wrong in that he thought he had earned a higher place with the Father, and that others shouldn't be allowed who haven't earned it. Now imagine, friends, how this would go if all who didn't earn it were never embraced by God. Oh, how horrible would that be? Who among us could say we've earned that embrace, that we've done enough, that we've been perfect enough? But we don't have to, because God's love is freely given. God comes to each of us whether we're returning or whether we are steadfastly working on God's behalf, stewarding the blessings that we've already been given. God comes out to us and invites us in. God comes out to us and embraces us. See, the older brother's biggest problem was he didn't even see that he was lost. And that is why he is at the heart of this parable. That is the message to the Pharisees who didn't know that they were lost. My prayer for us this day is that we will always stand in gratitude for all that we are provided, for all that God blesses us with, just for being in the presence of God. And that we will have a heart to celebrate when others understand that they are also loved. This is our strength for the journey.